everyone, it's Kingsley here. I'm on top of Conway Mountain looking down towards Conway. Conway used to be, I don't know if it still is, but used to be the most visited town in all of Britain because of the castle, which goes back to the 12th century, built by King Edward, ironically to keep the Welsh out, but actually we're in Wales at the moment. I moved here the end of 1995 with Kathy and with Jemima, beginning of 1996, and we began our Joshua project. And I've been on this mountain, I could not tell you how many times. I used to spend time with the Lord here, I used to run this mountain, and always when I looked at the castle, it reminded me of Joshua heading towards Jericho. I could see that it's a walled city, and you could see the walls just falling down. So I find it incredibly inspirational up here. It's the headquarters of International Gospel Outreach, and I've just come down for a couple of days, doing a couple of things. I wanted to have a word with you, giving thanks for 2016 and looking forward to 2017. So God bless you today. Now you're looking out towards the Great Orme, which is right here in the north part of North Wales. If you could look to your left, you'd see over to Anglesey. If you could see far enough, you'd see the Isle of Man. And if you could look to further to your left, you would actually could on a clear day see Ireland. So we're very high up here in the north of Wales. 2016 was a wonderful year, and I want to thank you for helping me to go through it. At the beginning of the year, I thought I was slowing down, and God spoke to me and said it's time to speed up. So it's been an incredibly busy year. I started off in America in January, as I normally do. Then in February went to Ethiopia, as again I normally do, and I went with the mind of finishing it. I've been going for 13 years, leading 100 leaders, pastors and evangelists and other sort of leaders, men and women, leading them in the Word of God for the last 13 years. But it was becoming extremely expensive. But they pleaded with me to keep coming, and so I'm going again this year. But that was a wonderful time. In March, I went off to the Philippines with Isaac and with a group of people. Went to Mindanao and went up to Luzon, 2 conferences, and again God moved. It was a tremendous time. Then I went off to Israel, and wow, I can't tell you what a wonderful time Israel was. A good friend of mine, Jeff, in my own church, paid for me to go with him and a group of people, and that was a tremendous blessing. Went back then to Macedonia, where we had a conference with some leaders up in the mountains in Bitola, and that was tremendous. Then after that went to Romania, and again it was a wonderful time to see the church come together to worship the Lord and to just seek God for the future of Eastern Europe. Then I went off to Guatemala, got on a bus and went to Honduras with the Lomans over there, and we had a great time, another conference. Back to Guatemala, ordained Luke Humphreys, and then came back. That was in July. Then I went to Tanzania, and in between this I had an operation this year. I had a hernia operation, so it took me out for 8 weeks. But then I went to Tanzania with a group of people, and we had an incredible time with Pastor Pius there. David came with me from America, and I had a few ladies came with me from here, and it was a fantastic time. So a blessing this year. Then we went to America again, back to Guatemala to perform a wedding for Sophie Humphreys, and it really was tremendous. So I want to thank you for blessing me through this year, for praying for us most of all. God is our source, He's the one that met our needs, but He used many of you to help us. And so I wanted to say thank you, and God bless you today. '17 is also going to be a very busy year. I go to my conference in Destiny, Light Your World conference in Destiny in January. Really looking forward to that. Visit Three Rivers and a couple of other churches. And then in February, I'm going back to Ethiopia because they've asked me to, and really feel that it's God again. So I'm going to Ethiopia, looking forward to it tremendously. Same group of people, maybe a few extra, I'm not sure, but I'm going to be there for a few days. Then I'm going to come back through Kenya with Bishop Lucas Wafula, and I have a conference in his church in Nairobi. So that's quite a lengthy trip with the 2 conferences back to back, but it's more economical doing it that way. Then in March, I'm going back to India. I was in India many, many years ago. Pastor Sam Sharma, who lives up in the north part of India, I'm going to work with him for a week, and we'll be going. He lives on the border with Nepal and Bhutan, so we'll also be visiting some of his churches there. So I'm really looking forward to them. And they are the only ones that I have booked so far. They're booked, they're paid for, put to bed, ready to go. Then after that, I'm going to be going back to Ghana this year. This is the 50th anniversary, the Jubilee year of International Gospel Outreach. Started in 1967. We're having a very special conference in October this year, but because it's the 50th year, we're going to hold some extra special meetings. So one of them will be in Ghana, hopefully with Parliament in Ghana, like I've done many, many times. So looking forward to that, working some itinerary out there. Then at the same time, I'll fly over to Pastor Solomon over in the Ivory Coast and have a week of meetings with him there also. In the summer, hoping to go back to Guatemala to Pastor Abner and my other friends, the Humphreys and the Mills over there. Pastor Abner has got a very special service in the life of his church, and you'll hear more about that as the year goes on, but I'm hoping to go back there. Going to go back to Macedonia, hopefully, to run another pastors' conference up in the mountains, and then in June I'm going back to Romania for the second one of these IGO annual conferences. Looking forward to that. So it's a very exciting year. A lot of things I haven't sorted out yet, but looking for God to do something tremendous in us. Thank you for your prayers. Please keep praying for us. That's what we need more than anything. I've tried to be a normal pastor. I've tried it so many times, and that's nothing to discredit pastors. I love pastors. I work with them all the time, but I've tried, and God will not let me. He keeps poking me to go on and on and on. And so I'm excited about what we do. And I really appreciate you and thank you that you're standing with us. So may God bless you today.